happens here in Cleveland and across Ohio matters more. That's what we talk about every day. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Hello and good morning. Welcome into the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning, sir.
How's it going back there?
Interesting.
Yes. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, first of all, Seth had a crazy weekend. Plus, with the weather, and we're going to keep you updated on it right now. About 15 to 20 minutes ago, power went out. We're running on backup generators here. I'm going to tell you now, it's flickering every now and then, so we might be on borrowed time, but we're going to make the most of it as we have it here on this Monday, August 10th. Right now, so currently in the area, about 18,000 customers are out, so nothing too crazy, but the weather's pretty rough out there, so we're going to give you the updates on that, and we're going to talk about the stories that happened over the weekend. Plus, we have Jim Renacci. Jim Renacci is going to join us at 9:30. We're going to pick his brain on some of the things that he's been hearing when it comes to independent voters, some of the Republican messaging, pick his brain a little bit on the Max Miller situation with Ohio 7. It looks like he's in. Looks like Max Miller's staying in, and I get it. I understand it. Innocent until proven guilty, whether people in the court of public opinion wants to talk about that or not. That's the way that this country works. So it's really as simple as that. We're also going to talk about, with the Ohio Senate race, the data center talk. It's really starting to pick up with the candidates. We'll see where they stand on each side of that. But the big story nationally right now is that, and you heard Larry O'Connor talk about it a little bit if you tuned in before we started here, is that according to Axios, President Trump says we're kind of just low-key in it right now when it comes to Iran. I don't know what that means exactly. I don't know what that means, but it seems there seems to be an understanding that there's a growing frustration not only with the administration but also with the American people over this conflict in Iran. So they're going back and forth. They're still negotiating. Now, if you remember last week, at the beginning, this time last week, it was, we're going to bomb them. It's going to be the worst thing since World War II. Now, before the weekend, it was, I think we're near a deal. We're going to be real close. And now we are low-keying it. That is the quote from President Trump. And some reports came out over the weekend where it's basically the way that it's going to end up going is, and I don't know. And Seth, I'd love your opinion on this. I don't know if you heard this also, some of the reports, but to what I heard, it was, I'm fine with if they have nuclear weapons or nuclear capabilities. We just need access to the Strait. There needs to be no tolls for the Strait of Hormuz. That was some of the reports that came out, the rumors that came out over the weekend of the way that a deal might be going. The look at your...
Why did we start this to begin with? The whole thing was to prevent them from having a nuclear weapon.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah.
Wasn't the Strait pretty much okay before we went in there? Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering.
Yeah, but this time it's different. I don't know how it's different, but it's different. That's kind of where we're at right now. There was a deal over the weekend, if you heard of Trump's Gaza plan. So he had his plan that was going to help with the Strait of Hormuz, and different countries came together there. His the board that he put together, the peace board, the 15 different members and different points and things. I have the 15 points here. So the whole thing, this was the Gaza peace framework. So they had 15 points, and I mean, it comes from everything from Israeli withdrawal from the Palestinian parts, and I say that with kind of quotes in the air, of the world, independent verification, all the way down to, a social peace agreement. They're talking about reconstruction that follows after all of this happened. Like I said, I mean, it's 15 different points. Point number 13, and this is according to the United Nations here, but excuse me. Point number 13 was that Israel would withdraw in stages. The Palestinian authorities would assume security responsibilities after they would withdraw. And the reports are coming out that says Benjamin Netanyahu said, nah. He doesn't like that. He doesn't, what was it? The plan isn't simple enough, is basically what's being said, where and look, I get it. When you're at war, when there are two different areas of the Middle East at war, the way that they are now, where you do have people attacking each other daily, it's going to be hard to agree to anything. But this is what the Board of Peace, the Trump Board of Peace, came up with. The big thing is the phased withdrawal of Israel out of that area. And Benjamin Netanyahu was basically like, no, we have to make sure Hamas is completely gone, and then we'll get out. So that's where the holdup is there. I get it. I understand it. I obviously, I mean, I want peace in the Middle East, but this has been going on for a long time, to say the least. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean that's kind of where we're at with it. So it looks like Iran is it's going to keep going. We're still going to have the back and forths. We're still going to have all the different things that are going on with that, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. I will say this: we've heard deal, no deal before, so it could change. But right now, with where we're at, this kind of seems to be the standing.
Don't worry, though. We're low-keying it.
Yeah, we are low-keying.
We're all right.
That's right. Yeah, basically he said that he's prepared to allow economic pressure on Iran to mount as opposed to ordering new military offensive. So he's hoping that if we do, I don't want to say if we do nothing, but if we slowly just kind of leave it alone because of the damage that has been done, their economy is going to fail. And then it's going to be that pressure that they turn around and go, okay, guys, let's make a deal. Let's figure this out. I don't know that the people in Iran really care that much. And when I say the people in Iran, I don't mean the citizens. I should say the leadership. I don't know that the leadership in Iran is really going to care that much. We've kind of put them into a corner. We've kind of backed them up into a corner, and that's good because that usually means negotiations can go well, or it's going to be that fight or flight. And given, I think we could say now after the months that we've seen with the way that Iran goes, that if it's fight or flight, they're fighting. And so I don't know how much of a deal can be made. But yeah, I mean, we'll find out. Like I said, I wish when it comes to this, I had more information and it wasn't just kind of speculation, but that's really what it is at this point. So now the question becomes, which economic pressure, which is going to be greater, economic pressure for the Iranians, or is it going to be election pressure for the United States? That's how, and because with the election pressure comes the economic pressure for the United States and the people that have to go vote. That's going to be that to me is going to be the two key deciders here for each side. If we start getting closer to the election and polls are coming out and it doesn't look that good for the Republicans heading into the midterms, well, then you might see a switch up there. And the same with Iran. If the economy's going really bad and they're not making any money and they're not able to stay afloat as a country, then yeah, they're probably going to want to make a deal. It's just, when do we get to that point? Who breaks first? Both sides. Now, and President Trump, we love him for it, but he is stubborn. He is stubborn. We know that about him. And his administration, they're very stubborn and they believe what they believe. So it's gonna be interesting to see what direction this takes. For me, I think as a voter, we're seeing how it's going with the economy, and we're seeing a lot of pressure that way be put on just not even just GOP, but also Democrats that are in the House and the Senate and even local government, with how frustrated people are getting with affordability. And right now, this has been a problem for a long time, but right now the war is that main thing that people are blaming. So they're able to look at it. That's what they could see with their own eyes and really point fingers at, because they see the gas prices, they see the way the prices are going up. So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. We have to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about this a little bit more. I'll give you an update on the weather. I'll play Weatherman for a second, just so everybody knows what's happening. And yeah, some power outages in the area. So, if you're driving, just be careful. Chris Lively will have the updates throughout the show. But yeah, just be careful. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this.
Your calls, your city, your country. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We are on X, we are on YouTube, we are on Rumble. When you search the Jake Underwood Show, just checking in. Well, first of all, I want to know, because I'm seeing the power outage number go up and up and up, and we got a quick story of what happened here, because Seth and I saw a firework in the studio, to put it nicely.
Crazy.
That was wild. But yeah, just wondering if you have power, and if you don't, let us know where. The number to text in is 866-525-0955. Just to stay on top of that, just curious how it's going. And I mean, it's going to be, it looks like, based on looking at the weather, it's going to be off and on with these rain showers all day, maybe even into tomorrow. Mainly cloudy during the afternoon hours. A few storms may be severe. Our high today is going to be right around 81. Some winds coming in from the west-southwest at 15 miles per hour. Chance of rain 100%, which, yeah, I can tell you that. Look outside. As for tonight, a few clouds. You're going to have some thunderstorms overnight as well. But it's going to be lower, obviously in the 70s, and then once those showers pass through, there might be some more rain, but the chance of rain after that is right around 40%. So that's where we're at right now with the weather. But as I said, currently right around 30,000 customers out currently in the listening area. So, we just want to make sure we're staying on top of that. If you are one of those, let us know. Let's see, we have somebody on the Rumble chat that said, West Side checking in. We have power for now. Well set for now. Well, hopefully you don't lose it. And as I said, we may be on borrowed time here because the lights seem to like to flicker on and off. We're on, I believe, as Seth said, we're on backup generators is what he said earlier. But, yeah, we were sitting here prepping for the show. We were getting ready, and everything went dark. Quickly it went dark. And there was this single spark that looked like a firework on the 4th of July that flew up into the air to the point that if you've worked in radio, you know that there's like a flickering light that goes off when you're off air. It could be a white light, yellow. I've seen red. Yeah. So, and then it makes this like
little strobe.
Yeah, a little strobe light. I thought the strobe light was going off.
So did I.
It was not. Because it wasn't until maybe 10 seconds later when that light started going off. But yeah, Seth, you had a fireworks show right there in front of you today.
Yeah, it was a giant spark, and I had to come from the board area or somewhere behind it or something.
Yeah,
because I saw it and then I smelled it when power finally came back on.
Yeah,
I could smell like a smoky kind of smell.
Did it smell good?
No, it smelled like burning metal or something.
It didn't smell like barbecue?
No.
Oh,
I wish.
All right, well.
And I could go for some ribs right now, but it was like a big giant spark, and thank God I didn't have headphones on, or I wasn't touching.
Well, yeah, you just had you just got real wide eyed, and I'm like, "Are you good?" And you're like, "Did you see that spark?" I'm like, "I did." Yeah, no, I did see that. I'm like, "But we're back on. We're good. Can we do a show today?"
Barely. I mean,
yeah.
The light's been flickering, so
yeah. So that's why I said we're kind of on borrowed time.
Have you gone out to the hallway yet?
I have not,
because I'm just curious if the entire building is out or if we're just on the backup generator. But
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I looked outside. It's got that weird orangish tinge outside right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to look and see if my house has power.
Well, yeah, as I said, somebody checking in on the west side, they said that they do have power. And as I'm looking here, I mean, it looks like Cam's Corners. Cam's Corners. There's some outages. Brooklyn. There's some outages. Parma a little bit. Broadview Heights.
There's some outages.
Yeah, there's some outages there, as well as North Royalton a little bit. So, I mean, as I said, it's all throughout the listening area. North Olmsted, it looks like Westlake, there's some outages as well. Lakewood, Rocky River, and then on the east side, we're looking at the Glenville area. Let's see. Yeah, Garfield Heights, there's some, and then obviously here in Independence. And then, so yeah, I don't, we're gonna keep an eye on it. It's right around 30. It seems to be holding at that number. So hopefully, it starts to tick down from there.
Yeah, there's some right off of Rockside Road.
That's us.
That would be us.
Yeah. Well, and then Seth, you had a crazy weekend in general.
I did.
I got somebody said, "Good morning, Richmond Heights here. Power is on, but no Wi-Fi." Oh, that's from KQ111. Thank you, KQ111.
Did you see the Verizon outage this weekend?
No, but that makes a lot of sense as to why my phone wasn't working.
Yeah, I tried calling you a couple of times, and the voice calls were out for Verizon users in this area, especially. I know that and across the country, but like I couldn't make any calls. I couldn't get any calls. I could text,
Yeah.
but making calls and getting calls you could not do for quite some time, a couple hours at least.
But
On
what was
Saturday.
that? If that was Saturday?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Wow. You know what we should do? We should make everything even more digital and store it all in one center.
Oh, one center? I
Yeah.
think that's a good idea.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
One big giant warehouse type center.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Where nothing could go wrong.
Yeah, no, absolutely nothing could go wrong at that point. Now that would
Because
be,
there's never a storm or anything.
No.
Could create a giant spark and something electrical.
Yeah, no, I mean in Northeast Ohio, we're known for our sunny days and 70 degrees all year round. I mean, people when they come to Cleveland, they go, "Am I in LA?" And then they realize they're not because you can actually smell fresh air, unlike LA where it smells like pee and lilac constantly.
People have to listen for my crazy weekend.
Oh, yeah.
We got to talk about that later, right?
Yeah, no, we're going to talk about that.
You got to tell me if I'm crazy or not.
Well, I will tease it with this because I think it's worth having the tease. The first thing, and we'll probably talk about it the 10 o'clock hour because we have Jim Renacci coming up next.
Yeah.
So, you know, I get the wheelchair out of the trunk for Seth and I set it up. He's sitting there and he goes, "I had a crazy weekend." And I go, "Yeah?" And he's like, "Yeah, an exorcism happened at my house." I said, "I'm sorry?" He goes, "Yeah, exorcism happened at my house." And I go, like an actual exorcism? Like, what are you talking about? He's like, "No, I had to call a psychic and everything." And I'm like, okay. And then he's talking about watching people walk through his house he don't know, black shadowy figures.
Yeah. We'll have to get into it.
Yeah, so we'll get into that. As I said, probably, in the 10 o'clock hour, we'll get into that because I don't know. I mean, I got stories like that too, but I did ask him if he prayed, and he said, yeah, that was part of it.
I mean, this is not a George Norrie, after dark kind of thing. I mean,
it kind of sounds like it. I'm not saying I don't believe you. I believe some of the people on George Norrie also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, look, I'm as legit as they come. Maybe.
Well,
maybe not. I mean,
it.
I might be crazy. I could be absolutely crazy. I don't know.
I mean, I know some people that have seen some crazy things. I will say this. I've never in my life met someone, I've obviously heard stories, but I've never met anyone who said, "Hey, to perform an exorcism this weekend."
Yeah, and then I'll tell you about it. I don't want to get into it completely now, but it could get worse. So
it could get worse.
Yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Interesting.
It'll be interesting.
So, yeah, real quick, recapping the stuff going on with Iran. President Trump says right now we're low-key in it. So, right now it feels like, when you work in sales and you put the sales pitch out there and then you're both quiet. And if you've never worked in sales, I'm going to tell you how this works. You offer the price and then you're both quiet and the next one who talks loses. That I feel like that's where we're at right now. There has been something put on the table, whether or not it happens. It all depends on who talks first. Depends on the next one that opens their mouth loses, apparently. That's the way it feels. Now, there's also rumors that they're saying that the supreme leader is actually alive. Did you hear those, Seth?
I did.
Yeah, so he's actually alive, and there's going to be video footage, which I'm going to tell you what, with AI and deepfakes, I don't doubt that they can make it look like it.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, well, there's going to be – this is what we have to realize with the election coming up. And I alluded to on one side where that pressure is going to build up, and that's what Iran's hoping for. With that election coming up, Iran's going to start pulling some crazy stuff. You have to remember that. You're gonna see people. I mean, Osama bin Laden himself might pop up on the screen because of AI and the way that they could do things. I'm just giving you guys the heads up now. We're going to see some crazy stuff before this election concerning Iran and just the whole conflict that's going on right now. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to former Congressman Jim Renacci. I'm going to ask about independent voters, his opinion on Max Miller. We spoke about it a little bit last week, but a lot has happened since then. And then also pick his brain on the socialism versus communism argument and discussions that we've heard. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this.
The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube. Just search The Jake Underwood Show. If you want to see behind the scenes, head over to the TikTok, and you can see what Seth and I are doing during the commercial breaks. He usually joins us on Tuesdays. Today, it's a Monday, and he's joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. Of course, I'm talking about former Congressman Jim Renacci. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Jake. How are you?
I'm doing well. Before we get into everything, I got to ask you, Seth was talking about, we're going to get into it probably in the 10 o'clock hour. Seth had to have an exorcism done over the weekend. Jim, have you ever had to have an exorcism done?
No, but
Okay.
I'm sure there's some people that don't like me that believe I should have.
See, I figured you were in D.C. for a good amount of time, so you had to see or experience something.
No, thank goodness I got out of there every week.
Yeah.
I think if you're there too long, it does get you.
It's the 10 days. That's when
You should probably exercise that Capitol building.
they need. That's true. That is true. Jim, let me ask you, because you've been posting about different polls and different numbers, and I know that people aren't necessarily they don't believe in the polls and they got all their reasons, but I like the polls because you could see the trend, you could see the way that people are feeling about things and how it could change as time goes on. And you recently posted, when talking about independents, you said 67% of independents would vote for a Democrat right now, and it's not because they necessarily support Democrats, but because they're voting against the Republican. What do you believe is driving that?
Well, it's pretty simple, and I know some of your listeners might get mad when I say this, but Donald Trump's approval rating is down in the bucket. Among independents, it's at about 17%. And because of that, they are so upset with the president that they're mad at Republicans for not reeling him in when you ask them that question. And it's strange because when people say they don't like polls, I mean, polls are really interesting because if you do them right and you talk to the people, which we do, you get a lot more data than just yes, no, yes, no. I mean, people actually are mad at Donald Trump. They don't think Republicans, I'm talking about independents, They don't think Republicans are reeling him in enough, and they want him reeled in. So they are going to vote for a Democrat. That seems to be the overriding issue why 60+% of independents say we're just going to vote for a Republican or a Democrat. Not because they don't like Republicans. At this stage of the game, they don't like what Republicans are doing, which is a real key.
And I want to ask you, I think it was on Fox. I saw it over the weekend. They had this poll, and they said that of the MAGA Republicans, Donald Trump's approval rate is 90%. But of Republicans, only 30% of Republicans are MAGA Republicans. So I don't know that 90% of a 30%, I know it's numbers I'm throwing out there, but hopefully you're staying with me here. I don't know that 90% of a 30% is enough to carry the Republican Party through these midterm elections and even through 27. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? Because you just got done talking about it with the approval ratings among independents, but we're even seeing that approval rating with Republicans themselves, not necessarily the MAGA Republicans, but just Republicans, start to go down also.
Well, sure. And I got to tell you, for running for office, you want at least 93, 94% approval rating among your base, which are your Republicans. You're expecting very little out of the Democrats. And then you want at least 50 to 60% of independents. When you start to lose ground with Republicans, that's a real problem. And President Trump has lost ground, not only with regular Republicans, because his approval rating was at 94% in 2024. Mm-hmm. Now it's like at 82, 83% overall. Under MAGA, so he's lost ground there. And then under MAGA, it used to be 100%. I don't know. There was a poll from Fox about 60 days ago that MAGA voters were 100% behind Trump, and even now that has slipped. So I think what's going on here, if you start to look at the trend, which a lot of people don't like to listen to, but if you look at the trend, everything is starting to creep away. When you're losing 100% of MAGA to 94, 90% of 30% is not a real base. When you have 17% of independents not supporting the president, and 64 of those 64% not supporting Republicans, those are just disastrous numbers. And I can tell you, we just saw a poll. I just actually saw a poll coming out of Ohio 7, which shows really, really bad numbers for Republicans. And again, some people will say, oh, that's Max Miller that's causing the problem. No. All the national Republicans, president, vice president, the senators, were all underwater, seriously underwater in Ohio 7, to the point where it shows you that and remember, Ohio 7 is an R+5, R+6 district. You should not be underwater as a Republican in that district, but all the national Republicans are serious underwater in that district.
And so, and you brought it up, talking about Ohio District 7, and I want to pick your brain on Max Miller a bit, because you've been pretty clear with, you've said that the allegations against him are serious and should be investigated, but allegations themselves, that doesn't mean that it's fact. It's an allegation. Where do you draw the line between due process and political reality for the Republicans, and what they may be facing heading into November?
Well, here's a problem with politics. When a Democrat has allegations, Republicans, oh, he's got to step down, he's got to go, the guy from Maine, he's got to go down, he's got allegations. And when a Republican, oh, he's okay. No, the truth of it is it should be the same. The same message should be allegations are allegations until proven to be true. Now, the difference between the guy in Maine who was the Senate candidate and then left, he cut and ran. His allegations were serious enough to himself that he stepped down. Max has said these allegations aren't true. He's pretty much presented enough information that if you really take the time to look at what he's presented, all these allegations have already been tested in court. I mean, this is an ongoing 18-month battle. Most of these allegations that are being brought up by his ex-wife have already been reviewed in court. They've been found to be unsubstantiated. The child support issue, or not the child support issue, the custody issue, the judge just came out recently and said, no, these are unsubstantiated. We're going to leave Max continue to have the same custody as he had a year ago. So if you start to look at this stuff, you got to let this play out. But I think you have to let most allegations play out. What I have found, though, Jake, is that some people say, oh, it's a woman, it's different. It's allegations against a woman. Well, I think any allegation should be looked at. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jim Renacci, they alleged Jim Renacci in 2009 was a criminal, a crook, a partner with Saddam Hussein, and was going to jail. And those were allegations made against me. When I bring that up, people go, oh, that's different. That's different. That's not an allegation against a woman. Whoa, it's a pretty serious allegation. If I was going to jail or was a partner with Saddam Hussein at that time, I think those allegations, and if they were true, I shouldn't have been elected either. But none of them were found to be true. So I do think we just have to be careful. And I also get concerned because once we say, oh, there's allegations against a woman, that person should not be able to serve. Well, better be careful, because if you look, I think it's, 59 members of the House of Representatives have been through a divorce with allegations. Senator Bernie Moreno, he had 2 allegations of, I don't know whether it was harassment in the workplace with female workers, whatever. Those he actually settled. So those were never verified. But so if you start to look at all this stuff, better be careful. That's what I keep saying. Better be careful before you start making allegations as a means that means somebody cannot run or be elected or should be in office.
Yeah, that's for me, because in my mindset, I immediately jump to, all right, if I'm running for office, let's say I'm running against Seth. And I decide then, I go, all right, well, if an allegation just takes anybody out, I'm going to go talk to a woman of the night, if you will. And I'm going to go, hey, here's $40,000. You see this guy? This guy beat you. This guy was the craziest thing you've ever experienced here. Go talk to these people. Because that's all you have to do then at that point. If we're just going to throw due process out of the way, then that's really all you have to do to try to get into a political office.
What's interesting, you said it because I've used that a couple times. People get mad, but you're right. You just hire a escort and say, hey, this guy I dated him, he abused me, and you know what? And pay him pay her 25, 30, 40, 50,000. That's a pretty good one-day statement, and you know what? That could submarine any candidate, any male candidate, and at the same time, it's even worse because if the political party doesn't like you, sometimes they have to spend millions of dollars to try and stop you from getting elected. Boy, if we make allegations, especially allegations of with a female as a automatic, can't run, can't be a member of Congress, wow, it wouldn't cost much for 40 or 50,000. But on the flip side, I do believe if people take a look, especially this weekend, I believe all the files were released. They show that every one of these allegations has actually been reviewed by judges, by counselors, by child, people that are part of the child advocacy groups, and none of them have been supported or made valid, which really does make Max Miller's position a lot stronger. Oh, by the way, here's the other thing I heard this weekend. Well, he's been abused. He's been accused by 2 other women. Well, remember, Stephanie Grissom did accuse him. He filed a libel case, and she actually paid him. So you can't use that one because somehow I think that got upside down against Stephanie Grissom. And the other person was somebody in high school, which is always great. You know, I'm going to divert here also for your listeners. When I was running for governor, I had Eustad's campaign team, because remember, I was running against him.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting calls from employees of mine who I hadn't employed for 28 years, and they're saying, hey, Jim, I just want you to know, I got this phone call from this person who, basically asked me if I ever sexually harassed you. And I just want you to know that there's somebody out there trying to find somebody who will say, oh, yeah, Jim Renacci sexually harassed me in his 30 years of employment. Thank goodness, whoever that was. Now, we tracked it back to the Eustad campaign at that time. Whoever that was talked to like 40-some women who I had employed over a period of 28 years, and every one of them stood up for me, which thank goodness, because all it would have taken one to say, oh, yeah, he was bad.
Right.
He was bad. He was a bad guy.
Yeah, if you want to know where we are with politics right now, that's the perfect that's the perfect story. Jim Renacci, thank you for your time today, and I look forward to catching up with you again next week.
All righty. Thank you. You have a good day.
Yep, you as well. That, of course, former Congressman Jim Renacci joining us on the Marcello's Hot Honey Pepperoni Hotline. Go in there. You just have a hot honey pepperoni pizza right there in the same plaza as the Thirsty Cowboy. Go do that and get the wings. Seth loves the wings. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this because Jim brought up an interesting point, and I want to expand on that a little bit. We'll be back right after this. nobody's going to hear it. Nobody's going to be able to hear it. It's just going to be in one ear, out the other, and they're going to be politically mute to the stories that start coming out. Because now we've gotten it to the point, and we've gotten to this point, where people would rather represent a party or represent a position than the people's position. And that's not okay. That's not how it should be. I don't want to hear the party talking points. I want to hear the talking points of the constituents and how you're going to make them happen. That's what needs to happen. But they're going to start hurling out all this crazy nonsense. And I mean, this has been going on, but now you're really going to see an uptick in it because they know that it's successful. They know that they're going to be able to get whatever they want and whoever they want in office simply by spreading rumors. That's what they know. And if you fight against it, you're guilty. If you didn't do it, you're guilty in the court of public opinion. You know, I don't know. I'm old enough to remember when just a few years ago, people on the right were freaking out about the Me Too party. About the fact that all you had to do to get thrown in jail or throw someone in jail was claim that something like this happened. Now, some of those people were guilty and they should have been thrown in jail. I mean, look at Harvey Weinstein. That stuff's crazy. Depending on who you talk to, some people still think that he's innocent. But the stuff that came out about him is absolutely insane. Yeah, those people deserve to be in jail because they broke the law. They just, you don't do that. But you also have people that these claims were made against that were innocent, that some of them still can't get work because of it, who once worked in the public eye. So we have to be very careful with this. And I heard it a lot over the weekend. I went to a few different events, and I had people coming up to me and they're going, when did we become the party of Me Too? When did we start becoming the party of we don't believe in due process? We have to be very careful here because we're going to go down this slippery slope and we're going to start becoming what we hate. And that's very dangerous. If we start to become what we hate, then what are we standing for? And for a lot of people, it's already become that. And that's why you have the people that are independent with the 73%, right around there, that identify as independent. That's why you have those, because they're starting to see more and more that it's just becoming the system is becoming more and more alike. The one side is becoming like the other, except for abortion, except for maybe taxes. But I mean, government debt's gone up. I mean, I think it's 40% of the government debt that we have right now has come within this administration, even though the whole thing was cutting. So there are concerns there. There are absolutely concerns there. Let's see here. Have you discussed the volume of threats resulting in the GOP meeting/event this evening at Mapleside being canceled? That's from James. James, we have not yet. Yeah, no, if you, and I know we have a break coming up, but yeah, the event that Max Miller was going to hold with Anna Paulina Luna tonight at Mapleside Farms in Brunswick was canceled because of threats. That came out on Friday. All because of...
You see that?
What's that?
Before we go to break, all the power outages in Northeast Ohio.
Yeah,
the entire map is filled with dots.
Yeah, the entire map's filled. So yeah,
good luck with your power.
Yeah, it's moving up. So if you are without power, stay here. We're going to give you updates as soon as we can on the different things happening. Yeah, it's right around. I'm seeing right around that 50,000, and that's just First Energy. That's not including Cleveland Public Power and other ones.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so just keep it here. We're going to give you the updates. In fact, we're going to get a check on news now. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We'll be back right after this.
taxes, raise families, and live here. This is the Jake Underwood Show on Cleveland's AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show, hour number 2 of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Anywhere you can watch stuff. That's kind of where we're at now. It's Monday. It's August 10th, 2026. The beautiful year that is 2026 in the greatest Cleveland area. I am Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Good morning.
How's it going back there, Seth?
It's awful.
It's awful.
Well, like the TV's not working, nothing's working.
Corporate.
I mean, I know a storm went through.
Yes.
But last I checked, we should have stuff like the internet to do a radio show and
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. I do want to talk to you
Details.
about the little things, if you will.
Yeah.
I got to ask you about this exorcism that was performed at your house.
Yes.
You said that I
Right,
said.
I'll start from the beginning
All
of
right.
what happened here
Okay.
with me. I'll try not to make it too late. But everything I'm telling you is absolutely true.
100% factual. No
Yes.
lies. Okay.
Now,
All right.
Granted, I am taking a lot of medications, but I did look up
Okay.
my medications to see if they cause like hallucinations.
Now
or
let me ask you this. Were you the only person who witnessed what you're about to talk about?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right.
Well, mind you, my wife and my daughter do not sleep or sit in my room because I currently have just a hospital bed in there from losing the leg.
Yeah.
The other leg. So
Yes.
I can't just get out of bed, and I can't use a regular bed. I need this hospital bed to sit up and all this kind of stuff. Whatever.
Yes.
So I'm in a hospital bed. It's an old hospital bed. It's got a crank on the front and everything else. Wood. So it's nothing new, nothing nice.
Yeah, no, I've seen the bed. It's an
Very
older
old.
bed. Yes.
I rent it for like $12 a month.
Yes.
So the past like couple of weeks have been like kind of weird. Like at night, one night, I noticed, ask anything you want, but one night, I'm sitting there in bed, lights are all off in the house,
Okay.
and lights are off on the TV. I just have my phone like lit up because it's playing a sound on the phone,
Right.
so I could sleep.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I just see this dark figure come into the room.
All right, hold on. So you're just so there's nothing on,
No,
but you see a dark figure enter into the room.
because I have a nightlight in the bathroom, so I can
Okay.
see a little bit in the room.
So when you say that it entered the room, like from the hallway, it
right,
entered the room.
doorway right there. You've been in my house.
Yeah.
And that doorway right there.
And so for people who don't know, Seth it's a master suite. So
It
it's got like the little hallway there and then the bathroom all built into the bedroom there.
Yeah.
So you're saying that it came in from the hallway,
Yes.
not from the bathroom.
No.
Okay. All right. Just trying to get a.
And it was a
yep.
big black mass, not a black guy, just a black mass.
Okay. So like a shadowy figure.
Right. And it
Okay.
sat down on the chair next to the bed.
Like the chair that I sat
The
in.
one of you sat in.
Okay.
Now, it was so dark that it literally blocked the light from the bathroom.
Okay.
the
This
nightlight.
So this black mass. It was not translucent. You couldn't see through it.
No.
It was a solid black figure.
Yes.
Okay. Oh boy.
It blocked
okay.
the nightlight, so I
Yeah.
couldn't see the light.
Okay.
And I turned on, I have a remote for one of the lights on my dresser. So I used the remote. I turned on the light real quick because I was freaked out.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there. So I turned the light off,
Okay.
and I'm just laying there because I'm wide awake now.
Yeah.
And now I see this black figure again moving across in front of the TV. TV's
So now
off.
it's blocking the TV.
TV's off, but I can see the nightlight again, and it's going across the room. And then all of a sudden, I just hear the collar on my dog, who's sleeping on the floor on the other side, start jingling around.
Real quick, somebody from the 216, they said, "What did you pass gas?"
I did not.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
That would have been a translucent mass.
Well, yeah. All right. So hold on. So this is all in the same night.
Same night on this.
So black figure walks into the room, blocks the nightlight,
Yes.
and then sits down next to your bed, and you hear the dog's collar
No.
jiggling.
Then I turn the light on. There was nothing there.
Okay.
Turn the light back off. Moves. Then I hear the collar on my dog jingling. Turn on the light again. Nothing's there.
Right.
And she's just laying there. she wasn't moving.
Right.
So then I turned the light off and nothing else happened the rest of the night.
How long ago was this?
Maybe 2 weeks.
Okay. Was that the first time
That was the
something
first
like
time
this happened?
like that happened.
Okay.
Then I'm laying there the other night, and I feel something like literally grabbing the back of my head, like grabbing the hair on my head. To the point where I reached up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like trying to swat something. I didn't know what was there because
Okay.
I'm up against the wall.
And hold on. And this is when you had the longer hair.
No, it's short.
Oh, okay. So you still had because I was going to say if you had the longer hair, it could just be that it was caught up in something.
No.
Okay.
It's short hair.
So you had shorter hair and you felt something grab your hair.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
And I reached up to swat something away, and there was nothing there.
Nothing there. Okay.
And then about 5 minutes after that,
I hate how many instances there are here. Yeah.
There's more.
Uh-huh.
Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this giant face comes right into my face and screams.
Okay.
Well, at least I didn't hear it, but it looks like it was screaming. And I saw eyes and a mouth, which looked horrific, and that's all I remember. I couldn't tell if it was a man or a woman.
Yeah.
To the point where, I'm not joking now, I screamed like a little girl. And
because
I screamed so loud that I woke up my wife and daughter. My daughter was upstairs. My wife was on the couch because she has to stay there because I have the hospital bed.
Right. Yeah, because I was going to say, it's not like you could get up and move.
Right.
Yeah.
Until we get a new bed, she's been sleeping on the couch and I'm recovering.
Right.
And so I screamed so loud that it woke her up, woke my daughter up. They're like, what's wrong? And I told them exactly what happened. I was petrified. I couldn't move. So then I was like, all right, whatever. And I turned the lights off, went back to bed, nothing else happening again that night. But actually, that night I slept with the lights on. I couldn't sleep.
So you, I mean, this has been going on for how long then? 2 weeks?
Yeah. And then just the other night, I'm laying there, and I wake up, and something is holding my legs down. What's left of my legs, anyways.
Yeah. So hands on thighs, it feels like.
Well, just below the knee where my amputee stuff is.
Yeah.
And I couldn't move them. And I was trying desperately to move my legs, and I could not move them. And I was stuck there.
What? Okay.
And again, I started yelling, and when my wife got up, everything was okay.
Came in, turned the light on, nothing.
And I can move my legs again.
Okay.
So I was talking to my wife about all this stuff, and she's kind of, believes in the spiritual world. And so I called a good friend of ours, a psychic Sonia.
Yes.
Be a very good friend of mine.
Which is, she's been on your podcast a few times.
Yes.
Yes.
She'll be on again giving out football tips.
Okay. All right.
But I called her yesterday and told her everything that was going on, and she's like, yeah, you got something in there.
Can I tell you, somebody just texted, and I don't mean to laugh, and said, it was Triv. Triv's messing with you.
Very well could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do have a picture of him hanging out my hall.
So before we go to break, let me recap this because I want to make sure that we got all this. So for about 2 weeks now, you've been experiencing this black mass coming in and out of your bedroom. It's not transparent. When it goes in front of the nightlight that you have in your bathroom, which is connected to your bedroom there, it blocks the light.
Yeah.
It sat in the chair next to you.
Yes.
You could hear the dog's collar, like it was like maybe it was petting the dog.
Something. Yeah.
Okay. And so then a few nights later, someone said, ask them to get you a different bed. So then a few nights later, this thing was pulling your hair and then got in your face.
Yeah, literally.
And then after that,
it screamed and woke up everybody up.
And then after that, it was holding on to your legs, holding them down.
Yes.
So then you couldn't move.
I'm turning on the light, nobody's there.
And this has been going on over the past 2 weeks.
Couple of weeks.
Oh, boy.
Of random stuff like this happening.
Oh, boy.
And the other day, I was like putting on my legs.
Yeah.
On the side of the bed. And I heard stuff moving in the background. I said, Heather, because I wanted her to grab me something.
Yeah.
I thought she was in the room because I heard stuff rattling behind me.
Does this only happen at night?
No, this one was during the day.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And I heard stuff moving around behind me, and I yelled, Heather. She wasn't even in the room. She was all the way in the living room.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
which, for people that don't know, it's not like Seth lives in a mansion, but I mean, there's a little hallway to get into Seth's room, so it's not like she
Not
could.
like the living room was right.
Yeah,
next
it's not
to
like she can move something and then like jet out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she came in and she's like, "What?" I said, "What were you doing back there?" She's like, "I wasn't in the room.
Yeah.
Nobody was in there.
Mm.
Not even a dog. There was no dog. Dog was staring at me, putting on the legs.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Interesting. We're gonna take a break, and then somebody in the on the TikTok said, "I love Psychic Sonia." So shout out to her for.
She's awesome.
So yeah, and then we're gonna get into what happened. But yeah, I agree with the person from the 216. Ask them for a different bed. I think that's a good step there. We're gonna take a break when we come.
Somebody texted me and said, "Probably some black guy coming over to have sex with your wife."
Stop.
No,
Stop. What are we doing?
It's not it.
What are we doing? Stop that. That's
ridiculous.
That's not good. We have some people calling in. If you want to call in, 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this.
Super awful.
Live and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
There's something strange in your neighborhood. Who you gonna call?
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show. No, it's not Halloween. Seth's just apparently he's been haunted for the last few weeks, and he decided to do something about it this weekend. It's the way that it sounds. Well, first, buddy, I'm sorry that you were going through that, because that's some scary stuff, man.
If it wasn't so real,
Yeah.
I'm not going to come on here and say something to make something up. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's too elaborate of a story for me to sit here and make up. I'm not making it up.
Yeah, you're not
and
that
actually
smart.
just had a lovely woman call. I'm not that smart. You're right. We just had a lovely woman call up and say that her mom had the same kind of thing. I actually pushed her down the stairs and stuff. And she had a ghost person, Mary Ann Winkowski, come over and help her out, who I've talked to in the past. And she was really, really good.
So somebody texted in, they said, I used to be plagued by the appearance of a dark, shadowy figure in my home. The feeling that I was being watched, strained communications of evil intent. Then I realized that just because I am paranoid doesn't mean that they are not out to get doesn't mean that they are not out to get me. Your friend and brother in Christ from Liberty Valley Church, Dennis Polk. It was during COVID. I had that. We just got a restriction on social media. But
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. But I had that during COVID when I was furloughed. And I was just kind of like sitting there, and I remember laying in the bed, and there was this like dark, shadowy figure I felt standing at the edge of my bed.
Yeah.
And it was right before I went on the road trip that I went on.
Yeah.
Did that. Hasn't been a problem since. That and I know I just pray that God's got me. That's usually the way that goes.
So I called Psychic Sonia.
Yes.
Who I just love, and she's been really funny enough. Years ago, I interviewed her on the radio, and she said, I just want to let you know you're going to have problems with your feet. Jake almost spit out his water. And I kind of laughed at her. I was like, okay, now I have no feet.
Well, so, okay, so she
saw that one coming.
Yeah, she has an idea.
Nailed that one.
What's going on? Okay.
All right. Giving football tips on my podcast. So I called her, and I told her what was going on. She's like, yeah, you got something there.
Yeah.
She's like, call me when you get home. I said, okay.
Okay.
So called her, put her on speakerphone. My wife and daughter had to be in the room.
Okay.
And she had to make sure that all of our stuff was off. All the TVs, and my wife couldn't be on their phones. Nothing.
Right.
Just us in the room on the phone with her.
Yes. Okay.
And so first thing she said is, she goes, are you in a blue room? I said, yes. My walls to my bedroom are blue.
So
light blue.
All right.
Nothing in the house other than that is light blue, just that one room.
So hold on, let me get this straight. So she goes, you got something following you, call me when you get home. Yeah. So it's you guys turn everything off in the house.
Yeah.
To make sure that nothing interferes with the energy. The only thing that's on is the phone. It's you, your daughter, and your wife in this blue room.
Right.
And you didn't say anything about it being blue, but the psychic goes, hey, the room you're sitting in, is it blue?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa.
And then she asked, and there's a new piece of old furniture in your room. Yes, it was the hospital bed.
Yes. Which, that hospital bed is easily probably 30, 40 years old.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
And she said, that's what it is. There's something attached to that bed.
So the psychic told you.
Yeah.
That this black shadowy figure that you're seeing.
Yeah.
It's attached to the bed.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that began the prayers.
Yeah.
Of course, she asked me and my wife and daughter, do you believe in Jesus Christ? I said, of course we do.
Well, yeah, if there's a time to, it's then.
But obviously I do that
right.
anyways.
Right.
And she said, okay, good. And she began, the prayers. And she was reading all these different passages out of the Bible to get rid of a spirit.
Right.
And she asked if anything happened. Nothing. I didn't notice anything happening. So, but whatever. And then she said, now picture a bubble coming over your home.
Okay.
And the bubble's squeezing around your home, and now it's popping. And now the spirit has been released. And she said, it's outside your home now. And I didn't feel anything better. I didn't see anything. But she said, it's outside your home.
Okay.
She's like, if you hear a knocking, do not answer the door.
What? Oh, wow.
She's
no.
like, unless you see somebody there, like if you get Amazon or something, you see a person at the door and they knock, answer the door. But if you hear a knocking and there's nobody at the door, do not open that door.
Okay.
Because this spirit wants to get back in and back to that bed.
How long was the spirit with the bed?
Don't know. And so now I'm thinking everything's fine and it's over with.
Yeah.
And so now we're going to go outside. We're going to go out. Me and my wife are going to go out. So my wife has to wheel me out down ramps
Right.
outside that front door. I have a Ring doorbell.
Oh, boy.
I go outside.
Uh-huh.
For the first time ever, the Ring doorbell doesn't work. It catches a picture of me and then a shadow, and it doesn't ring.
So you release the spirit from the bed.
And it was outside.
And now it's outside. And the psychic's going, don't answer the door if it starts knocking.
Right.
Don't do that. And when you go outside, you got a Ring doorbell. It doesn't work.
Did not go on. Didn't go on. Caught a picture of us going down
Yeah.
the ramp.
So it took a picture, not a video.
Right. And
Okay.
didn't ring. Then my wife had to go back inside to grab her purse, right?
Yeah.
She goes back up. Doorbell all of a sudden starts ringing on my phone. I get notifications. But the first time we went out after it was released outside, it did not make a noise.
Interesting.
So I don't know if it went back in when we opened up the door. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, is that possible?
It is possible, but we didn't invite it in, so I don't know. It didn't knock that I know of.
This is a crazy conversation.
And so now I talked to the psychic. I talked to her, and like if something else happens, like tonight or whatever, nothing happened last night, which I was very happy.
I was gonna ask. So last night you were able to sleep
better than I have in weeks.
Okay.
And
Now has this been going on since you've gotten the bed?
no, that's what I'm saying. First couple of weeks, I mean, I didn't notice anything different. I mean, could have. Maybe I just didn't notice anything.
Okay.
But now, if I notice anything else, she's gonna have to come out to the house and she's got to smudge it with sage and all kind of stuff.
Buddy, I'm gonna be honest with you. You might want her to come smudge it anyway.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, honestly, you might want to schedule a smudging. It might be your best bet might be get a smudge. I don't. Oof. Wow.
Yeah. So
And-
that was a. But again, I slept better than ever last night.
Yeah, and what you said that people were calling in. They've dealt with this too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People saying that they've had stories of, or had people that have gone through this kind of thing.
Interesting.
And
Wow.
I don't think I'm crazy.
No, I don't think you're crazy.
Why would I lie about it?
Right.
I have no reason to lie.
Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah, no, I get that. We're gonna take a break. We'll continue to talk about this. We come back. Well, I'm glad you slept well last night. Hopefully, you don't need a smudging.
I hope I don't need a smudge.
Yeah, I mean, let us know. I mean, do you think Seth's crazy? Let us know. Text in 866
That shouldn't be the question.
866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this.
meets the front page. The Jake Underwood Show continues on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer. 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. When you search the Jake Underwood Show, we're talking about how Seth was being haunted. To put it nicely, he's being haunted. He had a black shadowy figure following him around. They believe it was attached to the hospital bed. And somebody texted in from the 216, said the spirit wants his bed back, Seth.
It very may well be the case. Now, another thing that happened that I thought was very odd.
Okay.
Was I was laying in the bed, right? And all of a sudden, you could see the sheet or blanket, whatever. It was more like a thin blanket that was on me.
Like a hospital sheet type thing?
But it was a blanket.
Okay.
And it was at my house.
Yeah.
And it started to move up and down. Like if I was breathing heavy,
yeah,
like the blanket would move up and down. Like I saw it moving. I was holding my breath. I was not moving. There was no fan blowing on me, nothing. And this hospital bed sheet kind of thing that I have at home was just going up and down, like on my chest. Like it was moving, like somebody was breathing there.
Yeah, see, that would.
I took a video of it. I sent it to my wife.
So you have proof. Like you have actual proof.
I sent it to her. Freaked me out.
Yeah, see, that's interesting. I don't know what to say to that. I'm going to be honest. Because, growing up, because Lodi, Ohio, old house that we lived in, every Wednesday at 7, it was the weirdest thing. We would hear trumpet music from, the basement, which the basement was not finished. I mean, I think the house was built in, 1899. It was an old house.
Wow.
So, downstairs, you didn't even have cement. It was just dirt in the basement. And you would hear, trumpet music, and there would be this figure, this shadow, that would go from upstairs, walk around, and then go down the little hallway and then downstairs. No doors or anything like that would open. Nothing was ever moved around, like what you're talking about. My dogs were never getting, pets from the spirits. They were never oh, what a good dog. Although, your dog is a good dog, so that's probably why the spirit was petting it. But
I don't know if it was petting it or not. I just heard her collar jingling.
Yeah.
And when I turned the light on real quick, she was just laying there.
Yeah, see, and we would have some lights on, so it was kind of like a light figure type thing. This turned into George Norrie real quick. But yeah. So, I've witnessed it, but not to the extent that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's been a weird few weeks.
So it's been going on for almost a month.
And one of the things, again, people think I'm just stupid, and you can think whatever you want. That's fine.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter to me. But I've always been open and honest about my life and the stupid things that I do and everything else. But I've never lied.
Yeah.
I don't lie about stuff.
Right.
I'm not good at lying.
Right.
Actually, I'm very good at lying, but this is not a lie. The psychic Sonia told me don't watch spiritual movies for at least a few days. She says because a lot of these spiritual movies can actually
it invites them in.
Invite them in or aggravate them or whatever it
is.
And what's funny is 3 weeks ago, what did I do? I bought the Shudder app. Okay. Which is nothing but horror and paranormal movies.
Oh, okay. So you're thinking that might have welcomed them in.
Yeah, because it was $5 or something like that.
Okay.
And so I got it, and I've been watching a new movie every night. I watched the Faces of Death movie the other night.
Right.
Just stupid horror, spiritual, paranormal, whatever you want to call it, movies.
Yeah.
I've been watching.
Let's see. We have a text here. It says, Seth, be careful. There could be more than one spirit attached to that bed. Good and bad. See, that's, someone else texted in. This is from the 606. It says, very common, spirits attaching themselves to items, homes. I definitely believe. This is actually a good question. Did you feel that you were in danger?
When the face popped up in my face and was grabbing my hair, yes, I felt it.
Wow. Yeah, see, that's, that's freaky. That's freaky. And the thing is, I'm shocked that it took you this long to bring it up. Because because I'm going to be honest. If I got something grabbing my legs while I'm sleeping, I'm bringing that up on air the next day.
Well, I didn't because, again, I didn't know what your reaction would be, and I didn't know what
Okay.
like that. I thought that would be your reaction
Yeah.
to me, and I think that people out there think I'm stupid or crazy.
Well,
or
no,
something.
you brought it up, and what did I do? I went, really? Yeah, all right.
But I mean, it wasn't like I didn't want to make a thing about it. But then yesterday, when I did have this exorcism,
Yeah. The
I
whole
said, well,
time.
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, the whole time in the back of your head, you're going, this is going to make great radio.
Well, because I never. Well, I did.
Yeah.
That's the way I think.
Well, yeah,
I'm
that's
always thinking about the next thing.
That's
for the
what we
radio.
always do, yeah.
But I never thought I'd have an exorcism done in my house.
Yeah.
And now I'm wondering if it doesn't get any better, if she's going to have to come out and I'm going to have to full-blown exorcism.
Yeah, she's going to have to smudge.
And the thing is that I wanted it to be like the movies, right?
Yeah.
I wanted it to be, if I'm going to have an exorcism, I wanted it to be, well, I'm on the bed starts shaking and my head
Yes,
spins
pea
around.
soup
Right.
and everything. Yeah. Well, no. Well, you don't want to be taken over by the demon.
No, but I mean,
No.
I expected something cool to happen when it was gone from now.
Yeah,
But I guess life it doesn't imitate art. Sometimes.
that's true. That's true. Let's see. Let's go to TJ. TJ, you're in the air.
Yeah, hi. Seth, I got an idea. Get yourself a blessed statue of St. Michael. Now, that only works if you have faith. But I have one, and the only black mass moving around my house at night is my 100-pound black German Shepherd. But I'll say one thing about your psychic. If you read in the Bible, Jesus strongly told people to stay away from soothsayers.
Yeah.
Now, psychics, fortune tellers, these are modern-day soothsayers. I would not lay in bed with people like that. I mean, that's just my opinion.
Right. Yeah, you gotta be careful with that. And TJ, thank you for the call. Yeah, Seth was screening a call, but he was listening. Yeah, he said to get a Saint Michael statue, but the only way that's going to really work, Seth, is if you have faith. Which, I mean, you've talked about how you have faith. So, do you ever think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I have a rosary in my car.
Yeah,
That hangs from the
hey, you
mirror.
might need to take it in your house.
I need to take it in the house.
Yeah.
I don't know why the phone screener is doing what it's doing.
What is it? What is why?
What does it come up on line 2 for you?
I don't know. The cursor's in the way. Oh no, I see it. Yeah, no, it's where it says name.
Does it
Right.
say Kevin and Therese?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yes. All right, so let's go to Kevin and Therese. Oh, hold on. You got to put them on hold, buddy. There we go. Kevin and Therese, you're in the air.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
So are you Catholic?
Hi.
Yes.
You said, okay. All right, so it sounds like spiritual, like demonic oppression. And that's when the spirit is kind of attacking you on the outside. They haven't taken control of you. They're just kind of annoying you. And the best thing to do is to increase your prayer life, go to the sacraments as much as you can, use blessed salt and holy water, and I would go to sleep with those rosaries in your hand. I've heard that really helps.
Okay, why would this thing be attacking me? Did I do something?
It's possible, but it could be just because maybe you're on a good path and he's trying to get you discouraged. But you could have opened a door by, I don't know, reading a horoscope or looking at pornography or anything like that. Could have opened a door. But it could just be well, let's just discourage him so he'll stop praying.
Yeah, going through some of your challenges lately, you might have been an easy target.
And I do pray every day, but
Good.
That's
And he
odd.
probably doesn't want you. The dark one doesn't want you doing that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, Kevin and Therese, thank you. Thank you so much for the info. That makes sense because I will say this, and we've talked about it, and we've even talked about it on air. Your mindset this time, with everything going on with you, compared to how it was the first time, it's night and day.
Very different.
Yeah, very different. Where before you were, I mean, it was impacting you pretty deeply, and now you're like, all right, I know the challenge. We're going to overcome it. Yeah, it's a pain, not a pain in the foot. Hey, now.
I know.
But yeah, it's a pain, but I can overcome this. And you have been. You've been more positive. So before everything, it was probably, if it was there, it was feeding off of that evil, but that dark energy that you had, that negativity. And now, because you are turning that corner, it expected you to be negative. It expected you to feed into that. And you're not anymore. You're being more positive. You have a brighter outlook. So it's mad. It's trying to get you disgruntled. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That does make a lot of sense.
That makes a lot of sense. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll continue talking about this. If you want to chime in, feel free to do so. The number, we're taking calls on this, 216-901-0945. We do have some text messages to catch up on. If you want to text in, 866-525-0955. We'll be back right after this.
and local. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show. We're talking about how Seth had this shadowy figure follow him. Long story short, it was last night, right?
Yes.
Last night they performed an exorcism, and people are just, they're chiming in. Someone asks on the YouTube feed. They said, "How has your sugar been at night?" Could that be?
Oh, good. No. I check my sugar before every meal and then before I go to bed.
All right. Yeah, and then someone said maybe someone assumed room temp in that bed, and they're mad that you're sleeping in it. They got the perfect bed temperature there. And then, someone else said, "Be careful, Seth. There could be more than one spirit attached to that bed." So
it does. I mean, it worries me a little.
Someone said, "Seth, if you're curious, if you have a video recording device, the sensors can sometimes pick up things the eyes can't see. So if you have if you want, put a camera up at night and see if it picks up something as it's moving around."
I do have some cameras though.
And someone else said, "You need a priest, buddy."
Well, I mean, that might be down the road if it continues with but I trust psychics on you.
Yeah. Someone else said, "Have you considered that this could possibly be Trump's fault?"
I've heard it's Trump's fault.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. You have all of these black shadowy figures in your house, Seth. And they're not good. There's some that are good. This one seems to not be good. It's holding your legs down, playing with your hair. Honestly, it sounds like it's flirting, quite frankly. But Seth doesn't want to be flirted with by the spirit.
Sir, you can't control the Strait of Hormuz or the doors to the paranormal.
We're working on the Strait of Hormuz. The doors to the paranormal, that's a little out of my reach, okay? We're going to be honest. Let's see. Let's go to Connie. Connie, you are in the air.
Hi. No, I've had this happen in various houses because we would do these flip houses that we would buy, and we would live there beforehand. And I've had it happen, and the best thing I always found is before we moved in, which I found out after the fact, but to try to do it as soon as possible once it happened, is really have your priest or pastor. They are understanding, and they will bless the house. And I've had, I ended up getting some blessed crucifix, and I actually wear a small crucifix that is blessed. And one of them tried to attack me in bed, and when he saw the crucifix, he left permanently. Thank goodness. But it is really your local pastor or priest will help you out with this. It's a short ceremony, and I have nothing against Psychic Sonia because I don't know if they were following because I do readings on people. Myself, but I try to stay away from that. I just try to let God handle most everything.
Right.
And having the priest made a huge difference in our lives. And do not, under any circumstances, have somebody say, get a Ouija board and talk to it.
No.
Do not do that.
Yeah, don't do
ever.
that. No, that welcomes in a whole different kind of energy. And well, Connie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Connie.
What do you do?
I agree. Again, Psychics on issue did use the Bible. I mean, there are passages in the Bible that she was following along to do an exorcism.
I more so mean with like the blessed, the crucifix and crosses and different things.
Yeah, I should probably do something like that. I mean, I want to do something like that anyways.
Right.
I should have some of that at home. I mean, we have a whole shelf of stuff in the house that's, religious artifacts and different kinds of crosses. And we do have like an entire shelf of stuff, but I don't know what's blessed and what's not.
Right. Let's see. Let's go to Elizabeth. Elizabeth, you're in the air.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hey, I have the answer for you, dear. So it's a simple prayer, and it's used by an exorcist, and it is to free yourself from demonic influence and deeply rooted sin by offering this one brief prayer 3 times a day. It is called the Angeles, and it's just 3 different prayers, and you pray a Hail Mary, and it is guaranteed to improve your life as soon as you begin. And you're supposed to pray it at 6 a.m., noon, and 6 p.m. But, if you're not up or something, there's no time and space in heaven, so it really won't matter. But it It's supposed to remove any diabolically influenced temptations, will decrease or cease altogether. And you could free yourself from demonic influence and deeply rooted sin by offering this prayer once 3 times a day. So I thought I'd let you know about that.
All right.
It's very simple. And also definitely, you know, God bless all those people trying to help, but really go to a priest who has the power to you know, get rid of all these spirits that might be attached to your bed or somewhere around you, because they know how to get rid of them. And then start saying this Angelese prayer. If you Google that, you'll see the Angelese.
The Angelese prayer.
Thank you.
Angelus, and it is used by exorcists, and it says everyone knows that something is terribly wrong with there's like spiritual warfare going on, and unfortunately you contacted something that attached to you, and I've had this happen in my past too, and the only thing that will help is the Holy Mother of God.
That's right.
Thank you,
Elizabeth. Thank you. Thank you for the call and thank you for the advice.
Now, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
During her call, and I was listening to her in my headphones, but I also had to take another call coming in. And this woman said, I have the answer for you. And she starts telling me and starts using the word Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden the phone is breaking up. I can't hear a word that she's
Is that why you gave me that look?
Yeah. And she's like, but you have to do this. And then all of a sudden it was like garbled nothingness. And then the phone just disconnected. And then she tried calling back and she says, Seth, disconnected.
So you're saying you brought this thing here?
It could be here.
Is that why we saw the spark fly earlier?
I don't know about the spark. I'm not saying that. But I am being honest when she was telling me I have the answer for you, and her phone was.
Someone said, "Be careful with those exorcists that aren't priests. They can end up doing more harm than good. Stay away from the sage and smudge stuff as well. Blessed salt and holy water, but seriously, just call a priest and get your house blessed."
Sage seems to be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, and this is from John, our friend John. So I mean, he's not going to steer us wrong there. I mean, he rocks the Stumpy the Barbarian shirt, so you know he's gonna lead you in the right direction there. Very interesting. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about this some more because we have calls coming in. If you want to call in, the number's 216-901-0945. Feel free to text in 866-525-0955. Seth had an exorcism, and we're hearing the different ways to handle this and what we could do. We'll be back right after this.
conversations still matter. This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome into hour number 3 of the Jake Underwood Show on this Monday, August 10th, 2026. I'm Jake Underwood. The man behind the glass is one Mr. Seth Williams. Good morning, Seth.
Hello.
And we are talking about, and we're having a lot of feedback, including we have some people on hold, and we're going to get to them shortly. Seth was experiencing some paranormal stuff to wrap it up, for weeks, where hair was being pulled, different things like that. Sheets were moving.
Yeah.
And he called, had an exorcism last night, and people are just kind of giving their feedback. I didn't think it was going to pick up steam like it has, but we've gotten a lot of calls, and we appreciate the input because we want to make sure Seth's good. And, the different advice, it's all different things from the texters and the callers, and we appreciate it. And if you want to chime in, the number's 216-901-0945. Let's go to Robert. Robert, you're in the air.
Yeah, don't listen to TJ. Jesus does not talk against soothsayers and so forth in the Bible. That's all Old Testament stuff.
Okay.
And the second thing here, these things, that's a poltergeist. These things usually happen in emotional situations, highly charged emotional situations. Seth hasn't gone through an emotional situation lately, has he?
Well, the leg, losing the leg.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing to do here, you can even make it worse with exorcisms and all this smudging and all this nonsense because you're affirming it. So what I do suggest is to lower the emotional charge about this situation in his house. That's what I do suggest.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, it makes sense.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. When you study poltergeists and things like that, it's a lot of it has to do with people who are just bent out of shape about things. All right,
Robert.
Thanks,
you,
Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Robert. That makes sense.
It does, but at the same time, I've been trying to be a little bit more positive, like we discussed.
Well, yeah, and you have been. No, you definitely have been. I can only imagine if.
I'm excited to get on my legs, and I'm excited to spread
Right.
the word of, hey, man, it ain't the end of the world if something like this happens
Right.
to you.
Right.
I want to spread positivity to people that are facing challenges.
Yeah.
It'll be okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No apps. And I think
one way
you
or the
are.
other, it's going to be all right.
Yeah. Like I said, that stuff it picks up on that negativity, but you have been nowhere near the same mindset as you were the last time.
Yeah.
So I think you are. I think you're doing a lot better. Let's go to AC. AC, you're in the air.
Hi, Jake.
Hello, AC.
Here's what I got for Seth and anybody else, because there's more and more devils being released on planet Earth as we get closer and closer to the rapture. Okay? But anyway, Mark chapter 16 says this in verse 17, "And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils." Okay?
Okay.
The name of Jesus is powerful. All right? Now, Jesus never casted out devils using sage, and I just flat out tell you this is what is used in witchcraft, sage and different herbs, and TJ is absolutely right about warning people about psychics and the occult, because it's not just in the Old Testament. If you read in the book of Acts, Paul comes into a situation where there's a psychic woman who he cast the devil out of. Okay? So
Right.
TJ's right about this. All right? Now, here's what Seth needs to do. Okay? He needs to get into the Word of God, the King James Version of the Bible, and there's a passage that he could read even before he goes home, Matthew chapter 12, verse 43 to 45. It's only 3 verses. It talks about when a spirit goes out from a situation, okay?
Okay.
And there's a King James Bible there in the 1220 studio. I was just in the studio last night. So anyway, here's what he needs to do as far as what he's facing at home. Plead the blood of Jesus in every room of that house. Plead the blood. There's power in the blood, Jake.
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Seth. Okay, and if these manifestations happen again, plead the blood right at the moment they happen. Plead the blood of Jesus. The devils hate the blood. They're afraid of the blood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep. AC, thank you for the
We've
call. Go on.
Yeah. So we got power in the blood.
Yeah, AC.
God wants us to use it.
Yep, thank you for the call. Just start singing. Start singing old church songs. There's power, power. Just,
Somebody else said a Gregorian chant
Okay.
work on getting rid of that, and that was
Yeah.
a priest. Somebody sent me a YouTube video
Okay.
of a priest saying that.
Interesting.
That would work. I don't know.
I think
Look, I didn't mean to turn it into a
no,
religious
no,
thing.
I don't, I don't, I don't mind it. Anytime I can talk about Jesus, I'm down to do it. But,
I know some people are getting mad we're not talking about.
well, yeah,
Iran and
that
stuff
was,
like
that was one text.
Just remember, Iran, we're keeping it cool right now.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah, we're keeping it low key.
Low key.
That's what we're doing there. But yeah, no, look. I mean, this is something. It was keeping you up at night. So
Yeah.
any input is good input, and we've gotten a lot of different takes on it. So
I know AC was saying psychics are bad or whatever, but she was using the Bible,
yeah,
and reading from the Bible to say the prayers to get rid of the spirit.
yeah. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I don't know the details of all that. So I don't know which direction to lead you in there, but I do know that praying is never a bad thing. Praying is always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so, but yeah,
and believe me, I do that quite often.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's been a rough couple of weeks. But I'm
Yeah,
glad that we talked about it. And
Well, yeah, no, definitely. That's and listen to the people out there. Pray for Seth.
I'll keep you updated.
Yeah, keep us updated. Yeah, at the very
It happens
least,
again.
Yeah, pray for Seth because I couldn't imagine. Like I said, I remember having the feeling of one standing over me, and then that's when I went on a cross country trip, and then it was gone. So I don't know what that was, but maybe that's what you got to do. Maybe you got to go cross country. You ever think about that? Just get in the car and drive.
Is that what you want me to do?
No, go to the Badlands. Listen, honestly, yes, I want you to go to the Badlands because I want everybody to go to the Badlands. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful out west. So anytime somebody goes, "That's what you want me to do," I'm going to say yes, and it's nothing.
What is it? I mean, what's in the Badlands?
Oh, it's beautiful, man. It's just
Trees?
beautiful. Just what?
The trees?
They got trees. If you go a little south below the Badlands there, they have the forests out there. They have the national forests. Badlands, it's just beautiful. Rolling hills. Everything that you imagine when you hear those old "Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam," that's South Dakota. Everything in your head that you imagine that's North and South Dakota, that's out west. That's what you see. Just rolling hills. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful out there. So anytime I could tell somebody to go out west to experience that, I do it.
You don't think I've taken enough time off?
Well, no, I'm not saying right now.
Oh.
Yeah, no, not right now. If you really wanted to, I don't know how that'd go over with other people, but
I got a vacation time approved.
That's right. Hey, he's got a vacation coming up in a week.
Last time I said that was 3 months ago.
Right. Real quick, an update on the power outages. If you were with us this morning, our power flickered. I know there are a lot of people without power right now, and if you're listening, thank you for listening. Hopefully, this took your mind off it a little bit. Just over 43,000. So that number's starting to come down a little bit. These are the numbers from First Energy. So that's what we're looking at right now. So we're going to keep you updated as much as we can. Somebody said, "Remember the devil quoted scripture while tempting Jesus in the desert." So that's for you, Seth. So just keep that in mind. So not saying one thing or another because I know that you have a good relationship with that psychic, and people are there are a lot of support coming in for Psychic Sonia in the chat there on Rumble. People are going, "I absolutely love her." So a lot of good positive feedback there. We're going to take a break. When we come back, this is going to be a switch up here. We're going to talk about the the Ohio Senate candidates, but this will continue to be a theme throughout the show. If there's something, if you're researching something and it pops up and you want to feel free to let us know about it. You can text in 866-525-0955. Also, feel free to call in 216-901-0945. We'll be back right after this.
answers, but he does promise to ask better questions. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill.
That's a good song. Very positive. See? Here we go.
Wind was blowing, time stood still.
Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show right here. AM 1420, The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're on X, Rumble, YouTube, and TikTok. Just look up the Jake Underwood Show. You could see some of the behind-the-scenes stuff that we're doing there. We're going to switch it up a little bit, and as Seth said, we are going to keep you updated on the situation there. We even got some feedback here from people in the office where they're like, be careful what you're doing there. So we're all this is a storyline that we are invested in, and Seth, hopefully they're getting something worked out back there since we had the power outage this morning. Some stuff was acting goofy. That might have been what sparked. Who knows? Maybe
That might have been.
Yeah, that might have been it. Is it working now?
It looks like it. It's
All right.
building. It looks like it's building.
All right, we got the thumbs up from Greek, so I think we're doing. Oh, he told me never mind. Never mind. He didn't give us the thumbs up. I don't know.
We're not building quick. Let me just.
Well, it never does. I know this morning we had problems with recording the show. We're recording now.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, so just because I know this is going to be something people are going to want to go back and listen to, especially with your paranormal experience. So I want to make sure that they're able to do that. So yeah, you could do that after the show, whkradio.com. Go to the show page, and then you can listen to the podcast there. As I said, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I know people want us to talk Iran and talk all these different things. Right now with Iran, President Trump was quoted as saying, we're playing it low-key. So they're playing it low-key. We'll see what happens in the back and forth there. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. Maybe there will be a deal. Maybe there won't be a deal. We'll find out, won't we? But what I want to talk about now here in the state of Ohio, the big thing is data centers. That's the big thing. AI data centers. Are we for them? Are we against them? I've told you how I feel about it. I'm not a fan of the AI data centers. Just with the way that technology grows, I don't know if it's smart to take all this farmland, all this land that we could build homes on, that we could do all these different things on. I don't know that it's smart to build these giant warehouses when in a decade, an AI data center, something that they're going to need is going to be the size of, a Rubik's Cube, if you will. Because that's just the way that it works. I already know people that are involved in doing that and building those, where they sit there and they tell me that, look, 2 to 3 years from now, you're going to be able to put these in a swimming pool and it's not going to be that big of a problem. It's going to be easy to do. You're already hearing options that they're able to put them outside outside of homes. I don't know how exactly I feel about that. I just that kind of sketches me out a little bit. Just the whole idea of it. It doesn't sit right with me. And I know I get mocked a lot. People go move to Amish country because you want to take it back like that. But I know I'm far from the only one that's looking at this and saying this might not be the best idea. I know I'm not the only one that's looking at all of this saying, we're talking about fresh water possibly not going away, but being put at risk. We're talking about farmland possibly being put at risk. I feel like this is in the moment thinking, and we're not thinking for the future here. And you add that with flock cameras and everything else, it definitely becomes a concern to me. Now, I will say this. When it comes to the breakdown, this is from, let's see here. This is from the Ohio Capitol Journal, where they're kind of contrasting both candidates for senator here in the state of Ohio. Of course, I'm talking about former Senator Sherrod Brown and also the incumbent right now U.S. Senator John Husted. You know the background on Sherrod Brown. He's been in politics for what seems like 150 years. Not really. About 50 years-ish, right around there. Since 94, he's been involved with the federal government. He was in the House of Representatives. Then he was a senator. He got outed of his seat by Bernie Moreno. Then John Husted got into the Senate because J.D. Vance had that position. John Husted then was able to get appointed to that seat, and he has held it since. The winner of this election will hold the seat for the next 2 years, the remainder of the term. So that's it's a pretty important seat given the way that everything's set up in Washington right now. So when it comes to the AI data centers, I just wanted to make sure people knew the context of the race and everything going on there. So right now, as it stands, and John Husted, I've seen some different clips of him talking about this from different shows and things. But his position right now, and this is according to the Ohio Capitol Journal, he continues to support AI data center development as part of America's AI and technology competition, but says that the companies need to pay their own way. And he was a part of that Ratepayer Protection Act, and we spoke with Taylor Rogers, the assistant White House press secretary, about that. And this would require states to consider standards aimed at making large energy users cover the costs of new generation and transmission infrastructure related to service them. He also says that data centers should preferably be placed on vacant industrial sites, and argues that local communities should ultimately decide whether they want them or not. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that's a hot take. I don't think that that's crazy. To, you know, ultimately it should fall, and it should be the decision of the local communities to decide that. They absolutely should. So let's see here. Sherrod Brown. Sherrod Brown has taken a more confrontational approach. He says that he wants to, he's not a fan, I should say, of the tax incentives that are used to attract those AI data centers. We've talked about that before. And he believes that they should also, cover basically their own costs. They should cover the fact that there's going to be a higher electricity consumption, and that they should be the ones covering this. Like I said, I don't think this is a hot take. I don't think it's a hot take for people to look at these, these AI data centers that are going to come into the communities. If they're voted into it, they should have to cover their own cost. I have to cover the cost for my house. So why wouldn't they have to do it? You have to pay your electric bill. Why wouldn't they have to do it? And I've said it before. I know everybody's labeling this as the next big arms race, but the issue is this: shouldn't we be preparing for the advancement of it, not in the moment of it? If we really want to win this, shouldn't we be looking 5 to 10 years down the line in the development of all of this? Which, ironically enough, it seems that both they both have that mindset of, people should be able to decide where they're built, and it shouldn't really fall on the Ohio residents and taxpayers. Both seem to have that opinion there, which is a completely different mindset from what it was even a few months ago. So you're starting to see that change because enough people have come out publicly and went, whoa. I don't know how I feel about this. Communities have come out and they've said, I don't really like this. I'm not a fan of this being in my neighborhood. I'm not a fan of this being in my community because of the noise pollution, because of the air pollution, and the possibility of it having to use water. And that's why I said, if we really want to get ahead of this, then we need to actually get ahead of it and start planning for the next 5 to 10 years. Building a giant warehouse and saying, yep, we got it. That's what we got to do. It's taken care of. I don't know that that's really going to take care of it, because you're going to, like I've said before, my biggest fear with these AI data centers are that 20 years from now, you're going to have giant abandoned factories on this land that could be used for farming, that could be used for building homes, that could be used for a lot of different things, and they're just going to sit there, and eventually, how are you going to explain that when your AI data center, as I said, is the size of a Rubik's Cube? It's the size of a backpack. It's something that you just need a bucket of water. You could put it in there to make sure it doesn't overheat. I'm glad that, I know, because they're not on the same page. They're not on the same page, but you're starting to see it come around towards letting the people decide, which is what it should be in the first place. If you want to build one of these in a community, it shouldn't be the village council either, because I'm seeing some stuff around that, especially down in Seville. I'm seeing that pop up a little more. What is it with the village of Seville just wanting to use farmland for stuff besides farming? I don't know. But you're starting to see it more and more, where citizens are starting to stand up and go, whoa. Tell us the plans on this. Don't just tell us that you don't know. I just think it's very short-sighted, and we need to actually plan for the future if we're going to plan for the future here. This is the Jake Underwood Show. We're going to take a break. We'll continue talking about this when we come back right after this.
Some politicians listen to talk radio. Some pretend not to. Either way, we're still asking the questions. Back to the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
What?
I don't think I know the song.
REO Speedwagon? Riding the storm out?
Okay. I know REO Speedwagon. I don't think I know the song,
it's a
though.
good song.
No, I believe it. REO Speedwagon's great. Welcome back to the Jake Underwood Show.
It kind of fits through. We're riding the storm out.
That's right.
A lot of power outages going on.
Let's see if those. Let me get an update on those numbers real quick. We were at just above 43,000. Now it's 42,000 customers out. So that number's slowly coming down. If you're without power, thank you for tuning in, and hopefully we've kept you entertained and kept your mind off the fact that you got no power right now. I know some people are also without Wi-Fi, which is rough.
Man.
So
yeah,
stream numbers will be down there. There you go. Sorry to the people above us. I know that they're all about the numbers there.
We just need a storm every day. We can
Yeah.
tell them, hey, look, it's a storm.
Yeah, I mean, what could you do? We're talking about AI data centers and some of the feedback that we're getting. A lot of the comments are saying building these giant warehouses, it's a bit short-sighted considering how fast technology can move. And I agree with that. And I really do. That's one of my biggest concerns with the AI data centers is that it is kind of short-sighted. You know, if we want to get ahead of this, then we actually need to get ahead of it. And we need to start coming out with the new technology. We have to start, like I said, there are people that already say within the next 2 to 3 years, they're going to be the size, of something you could put in a family-sized swimming pool. So if we're going to build these massive warehouses, construction might not even be done yet. And we're going to be putting all this money, all this time, all this effort. And look, I want it. I want it. Because I know that the jobs will come with it. They're temporary jobs. But a job is a job. And a construction job, that's even better. But if we're not thinking of the future here, if we're not looking at this long term, then what are we doing really? We're just doing a temporary thing, and we're going to be able to say, look what we did in the moment. But does that really grow? Let's see. Let's go to Wayne in Oberlin. Wayne, you're in the air.
Hi, is this Jake?
Yes.
Hi, Jake. I'm a retired commercial contractor, and a lot of people don't realize what's going on with the data centers. We just went through that fight here in Russia Township, you may have seen by Lorain County Airport.
Yes.
And it's not over. We just went through the first battle. But if you notice, every time they talk about a data center, they talk about they got to have sewer ran to the data centers.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk about using the industrial sites, like we have Ford plants, GM plants, all kinds of plants. Here's the thing people don't realize. It's a twofold problem. Number one, property that farmers farm on, agricultural land, farmers are only paying maybe $50 an acre because it's undeveloped land.
Mm-hmm.
Once they bring the sewers through for the data centers, then the developers buy the land. And they're getting up to 8 to 12 houses per acre at $15,000 or more per house. So they're making upwards of $150,000 to $200,000 an acre once they develop that land. And then, as you say, the data centers are gone, and then all of the farmland becomes development. And that's the thing that it's like smoke and mirrors. People don't see what's taking place with it. With the whole thing.
Yeah.
The reason they don't want to use the industrial sites is the county commissioners in whatever area are already getting their $150,000 or whatever per acre for developed land. So there's no financial interest in using a site that you're already getting paid for.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, no,
and they don't want to tell you about that. Most of your data centers don't need sewer. Lorain County Airport, where they were talking about this last data center, already has sewer. They brought sewer there in '84 because I used to live in a house that I built in, about a mile from the airport.
Okay.
And the reason they're bringing the sewer through, the data centers are usually basically unmanned. So, and they recirculate the water they have with water cooling towers. You don't run new water in and basically exhaust it through a sewer and then, continue that cycle. It's not cost effective. They always put water cooling towers in. And so that's the part they're not telling the people. Again, I used to work for community development in Lorain. I used to work for Port Authority in Lorain. Everybody thinks it's about the people. It's not about the people. It's about the revenue. And the developers are given 15 years property tax abatement to build a development in areas in Lorain County. I think anywhere in Ohio, if I'm not mistaken.
That sounds right. Wow. Well, Wayne, thank you. Thank you for the input. I appreciate it because that added some context that I didn't necessarily have before. I didn't think about that with sewer lines and everything, because then at that point, they're not going to farm on that land again. So then they just build developments, and then they're going to end up getting more money. Man.
But the farmers have to give up their land, right?
Well,
I mean, if it was putting them in jeopardy, I don't think that they would sell it. They're not forcing people out, right?
Not necessarily. Well, I haven't heard any stories like that in Ohio.
I haven't heard of any eminent domain kind of stuff. I haven't heard
not in Ohio. No, it may have happened other places. I know in Missouri there was a huge battle over that. So this is what I'll say to that. And I'm a cynic when it comes to the government. Absolutely, I am. I admit that. Not yet. That's what I would say to that. Not yet. Because Seth, let me ask you this.
That.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you. Let me give you this hypothetical. Let's say that they're going to each one of these small little individual villages. So we're talking the Sevilles, the West Salems, the Polk, Ohio, those areas where there aren't that many people. Let's say they vote on it and all of them say absolutely not. We're not doing this. You don't think the government's going to go in there and go, well, we need this?
Yeah, they could. No doubt. And look, it's not your property anyways when it comes down to it.
Well, that's a whole different. Yeah.
And so you got to pay for that property. And you pay for the rest of your life for that property.
Right.
And so if they want it, I guess they could take it.
Yeah. That's an interesting point that he made, because if you put the sewer lines in there, then now it's developed. And whereas before it was $50 an acre, now it's developed land you can build houses on, and you're going to get more money for that. So then now the developers of the whatever, the AI data centers, they're going to put these warehouses out on this farmland. It's going to be developed because you're going to have the sewer lines and everything. They're going to be able to charge as much as they want. All you got to do is knock down this data center if it's not being used anymore, and then you can just build houses there. Like, I don't understand. And then the part about the industrial land made a lot of sense too, because they're already getting their money for that. They're already able to sell it for a certain amount of money. Is that what this is? Is this
a money grab?
Is that what this is in the long run? I mean, you could definitely make the argument that it is. I hadn't even thought of it like that. This is one of those. Like I said, look, of course I want the United States to be the top in everything. Of course I do. But if it's not creating jobs, in fact, the forecast when it comes to jobs and just how much it could take, they're saying it's going to take more and more jobs, AI is. So, what are we supposed to do here? This is we sit here and we talk about how socialism's scary. Well, what do you think the government's going to do if a bunch of computers take our jobs? Eventually, it's going to become big government. You're going to be looking at universal income. And I'm not talking about the next 5 to 10 years. So I know some people, they check out as soon as I say that. I'm talking 20 to 25 years. I'm talking 100 years from now. This country, as we know it, is going to be completely unrecognizable because we're going to follow what the technology says. It's still the scariest quote, and I won't say who said it, but I've heard it a few times. I even heard it in person, and I almost fainted. I almost passed out when they said the best thing about AI is that if we have questions about AI, we can just ask AI and it'll fix it. What do we think's going to happen with with education? They're already talking in the state of New York. They got robots teaching kids. Think about that.
It'd be a good thing depending on who programs them.
But that's just it, depending on who programs it. Like, this is scary stuff. And we can't, I don't know, I can't sit here and just watch it happen. I feel like this is going to be one of those where it's going to be 20, 30 years from now, and they're looking at us and they're going, what was it like before we had computers running everything? And don't worry, you'll get your $3,000, your income from the government. They'll tell you how to spend it and what to spend it on.
I'm confused on whether to embrace technology because, I mean, at some point you have to, because it's not, what choice do you have? But at the same time, I want to resist it because it is bad, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But,
well, it's
I have to take a class today on how to improve my podcast numbers because AI says you got to do this, and this.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
I don't know if AI is right.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to sit there. You got to play with the algorithms and everything else. Yeah, it doesn't even. It doesn't even. Hold on, here we go. How are the data centers any different from massive factories or steel mills? Didn't Honda have to pony up money for infrastructure construction in Marysville? What about the steel mills, any of the manufacturing facilities? That's from the 216, and that's a good point. But I would ask you, what happened when, what do those look like now that we're not using them?
Right.
They're just sitting there. That's my concern. Because now what you're doing is you're taking land that can be used for other things. Right now, that soil isn't dead. It's undeveloped land. There's no sewage lines. There's no nothing like that in there. So now you're going to sell this land or use this land that isn't developed, that you could do whatever you want with it, and you're going to go kill the soil. You're going to go develop this, run lines and everything else through it, and then you might not be able to use it for farming. You might not be able to use it for these things.
That's right. You're going to have lab-grown meat and vegetables anyway.
That drives me nuts. Like when you here's the thing, you gotta look at this from, like you're in an airplane, you're looking out the window. You got to look at it from way up and realize it's really weird that they're trying to get rid of all the farmland at the same time that lab-grown meat is getting approved. Isn't that strange? Nobody else finds that strange? And we're being told it's the next arms race? What, not eating actual meat? Like, really, really think about it in the context of what it is. This is some weird stuff, and it's not right. I'm going to put my tinfoil hat on during the break. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll put a bow on the show for the final segment. We'll give you some updated numbers on the power outages and what that's looking like. We'll be back right after this.
This is the Jake Underwood Show on AM 1420. The Answer.
Welcome in for the final segment of the Jake Underwood Show right here, AM 1420 The Answer, 102.9 FM. We're also on X, Rumble, and YouTube, and TikTok. Just search the Jake Underwood Show on TikTok. You could see behind the scenes what we're talking about during commercial breaks and kind of get a live look there. There are a lot of people switching back and forth between TikTok and the radio and back and forth, so we thank you for doing that. As for the power outages, we want to give an update. This morning, we experienced it here. There was a flicker. There was a light. A spark flew up. It looked like fireworks. We're in the studio there with Seth. And so we've had some power outages. It started this morning. It was close to 50,000. Now we're right around 40,800.
A lot of spots have a lot of outages, though.
Yeah. No.
And I told our engineer about the spark.
Yeah.
I said there was a spark in the studio, and then it smelled like something was burning.
Yeah.
Where'd it come from? I was like, somewhere over here by the board and the speakers and everything. All right. I walked out.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay.
So I guess everything seems to be working, so we'll go with it.
Is the delay up?
Yeah.
We're gonna, okay. All right. Okay.
It had shut off, did not reset.
Yes. Which is wild considering we took phone calls.
A lot of phone calls.
So listen, thank you. We have considering I've worked on a lot of other shows and I've done shows where we would have to use the dump button. We had a lot of responsible people calling in today, so thank you. Thank you. You have no idea how much we appreciate that. So the big thing today, I know we're talking AI data centers and the impact there, but I want to, for Seth, I mean, the advice that you received, I mean, what do you think of the advice? Of course, we're talking about the paranormal stuff. What do you think of the advice that you've received?
I liked a lot of it. I mean, a lot of it I thought was very good and helpful. And,
yeah,
Marcy, who works here, came down and said, gave me some advice. And
yes.
Basically stick to Jesus. And that's what I planned on doing anyways. But, hey, you don't know. You don't know what these things are capable of.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't know if it's just something that I plan on haunting somebody myself.
Why?
When I'm gone.
Why?
Well, like if I go before my wife, I don't want to find some guy that's better than me.
You know what, buddy? I think that's impossible.
Yeah, right.
I think.
Probably found one already.
I think you're the bee's knees, bud. That's what you are.
No, but I mean, who knows if this thing is just kind of wandering around,
Yeah.
doesn't know where to go, and is lost,
Right.
or I don't think it wants to hurt me. Pulled my hair.
Well,
Pulled my
it
legs
was
down.
trying to wake you up. It wanted to talk to you. I think the best text of the day is that it was Triv. I still think that's the best.
Yeah. Well,
somebody texted in and said, I guess we're going to have some bad storms again this evening. So yeah, just be careful when you're out and about. I don't want anything bad happening.
let me just say this: Triv would not touch my hair
Yeah, well,
or my legs.
someone on the TikTok said my best friend / roomie and I have a pact: letter magnets on the fridge to communicate from the beyond. So there you go. You and your wife could do that. Just, are you good at spelling? I don't.
You've seen the podcast, not really.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, that's true. Just keep the computer on at all times. You can type something out. Keep autocorrect.
I don't think that it was. I don't want to continue to communicate with something.
No, I wouldn't.
I want it to go where it's supposed to go,
Right.
and me to be able to enjoy
Right.
my hospital bed.
Yes, it needs to go do what it wants to do.
Somewhere else.
Yes, somewhere else. Yeah, and as for the AI data centers, my biggest concern is it's what we spoke about a little bit, and I'm just going to reiterate it, is that we're going to put all this development into sewer lines, sidewalks, this giant building that before it's even done being built, it's already out of date. And I know that sounds crazy, but we're talking about technology here, and let's look at the cell phone. Like, let's really, the one that you had for 2 years, it's running a little slow, isn't it? You notice when you touch the screen, it doesn't react like it used to. So what do? You got to go get a new one. You got to go get that new technology. Didn't mean to make that sound like a live read, but it did. But
Apple's got a new folding iPhone coming out.
Right. They got the new folding iPhone coming out. So if you have I don't even know what they're at anymore. The 16 or the 17, it's going to start running a little slower. And that's how it works because they have new RAM, they have new cameras, they have new technology. We have the technology. They have all this new stuff coming out. And I don't want us to be spending time and effort and money. And more importantly, I don't want people in these communities to give up these areas that they can do whatever they want when it comes to development, voting in to pass these things, and then they do have it pay for electric bills or property tax, then what happens? They're going to end up leaving. They're going to end up leaving those warehouses. And they're going to be sitting there abandoned, and guess what? You're still going to have to pay your property tax. So they're going to promise the world and maybe deliver a city block. Maybe. It just depends. That's what I don't want us to give up farmland, whatever it might be. I don't want us to give up anything to the government, quite frankly, but I know that that's not an option. So I don't want us to give up our sense of freedom when it comes to choices on things in the hopes of these promises that were made and then we don't get it.
Vivek says these AI data centers are going to pay for our electric bills.
Well, and I don't doubt that he would do that.
But when they're gone, then what happens?
That's my question. So when they ultimately leave and they do just buy, the floor of a building like we're in, they cut a hole in the floor, they build another building somewhere, and they put a hole in the floor that's filled with water. They throw in, a computer in there that could do the same thing, and it's, a quarter of the size, if not smaller. And then what do we do? What are we left with? What's the bill that we're left with? Both with the environment and in our wallets. Because if one's bad, it affects the other and vice versa. We see it. But that was an interesting point that the caller from Oberlin brought up about the development, and they're going to do it to try to get money out of it. I didn't think of it like that. I got to ponder that. I got to do some research on that, but it made a lot of sense in the moment. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. Thank you, everyone, for joining in today, whether you called or text. A lot of callers, a lot of texts. Thank you so much for listening, letting us into your cars, your homes, your work. If you're at work, you're halfway through a Monday, you're almost there. A lot of weird stuff spoken about today. So, pray. Tell someone about Jesus. Keep Seth in your prayers when it comes to this stuff that's bothering him, that's attached to his hospital bed, which is a sentence I never thought I would say. We'll be back tomorrow with Joe Burdick talking about Abbey Gate and a great ceremony that's coming up with that. We'll give you more details on that tomorrow. This has been the Jake Underwood Show. Tell someone about Jesus. Have an incredible day. We'll see you tomorrow.